it seemed to me watching the extended highlights back that it was Parramatta's to lose. They looked as though they had any number of chances to win this game.
Yeah, but credit to the Dolphins as well. We kept on talking about throughout the call about the intensity, the line speed. The kicking games were important for both the two teams because they're playing, I wouldn't say conservative style of footy, but the Dolphins completed something crazy like that. And he had 2 incompletions. They were like 92, 93%. And then they'd get defensively aim up and then Isaiah Katoa had a little bit of class in the first half. Cody Nikorima had a touch. But really, it was just it was Herbie Farnworth who was quiet for the first 50 minutes. He really broke the game open. He just took a hit up 50 metres out, went straight in between Mitch Moses from first marker and Riley Smith just didn't get up at A. And then they felt like they were chasing their tails. The Eels had a number of different chances to get back in the game, had a half break, looked likely in the last 5 minutes, but just couldn't get there.
So a good indicator for winning. So one of the stronger correlations to winning is run metres, right? And Parramatta ran for just short of 1,900 metres. Very few teams who crack 1,900 metres lose a game. So
it's the 18 mark, isn't it? Is that the
Yep. Yeah, but when you push a 1,900, you're a massive chance of winning.
Yep.
Anyway, it wasn't to be for Coach Riles and the Parramatta Eels on this occasion. They were just too good. Watching that extended coverage back, and Andrew Johns was absolutely waxing lyrically about that play from Katoa where he dummies inside. Moses, as a result, who's defending on the outside of him, is forced to turn his body in, and then he just picks them apart on the outside. I'm just trying to look up how old he is. Is he 21?
21, just turned 21. Oh. This is the comp I threw out for him, Sugar. I want a throwback.
Yep.
I want a throwback for Isaiah Katoa. He reminds me of Jason Smith, the ex-Bulldog Parramatta Eel.
Really?
Canberra Raider.
Wow.
Remember how Jason Smith used to just run to the line and just show inside, show outside, little break, put someone through a hole, and it just looked like he was going at his own pace, but it was slow for him and everyone else was erratic around him. That's what Katoa looks like sometimes. He showed inside for that try, and I said this during the call. Frankie Moller absolutely gets licked because Jermaine Hopgood well and truly thought he was going to get the ball. Bang. Smokes Frankie Moller. He hits the deck. Bailey Simonson was the right winger. He slips over because he thought it was an inside ball, almost went to backtrack, realised that Isaiah Katoa had held the ball. Then he goes out the back.
Yeah.
And then he tries to, he slips to try to catch up and wedge out the back. It was too late. Herbie gets the ball, slipped over Bailey Simonson. Bostock goes over untouched.
So you're saying that when Katoa turns in, Bailey Simonson, that's his cue to get an early mark to go back.
Yep.
So he starts to retreat and going back. Then he sees Katoa turn around and goes, oh, no.
He thought the play was over.
Yeah.
And then it was just a little movement, and then he slips and hits the deck. That's just, my assessment on it. But he's just, so many players do it. So many players show inside. Everyone's got the shape. I remember when we were coming through at Manly, Joey was our assistant coach.
Yep.
And he used to do extras with Kieran and Daly. And I used to try to learn as much as I could. So I'd always hang around him. He'd go, Pos, come run some holes for us and run some lines. And he used to be big, starting on B defender, show inside, look outside. You could also go out the back. And so many guys practice it, and you can see it. And it's just like, when I watch it unfold, I'm like, predictable.
Yep.
He's going to go short. He's going to lay inside. I can never pick it with Katoa.
Wow.
Even just in movement. And that's why Joey Frost's on him. I know Matty absolutely loves him. Cooper and that talk about him
21,
on their show.
21
years old. And this is what Joey said a lot about him over the last couple of years is the stuff that he's doing now and the comparison that I've got for a guy like Jason Smith.
Wow.
If for some of the younger generation who don't realise how silky Jason Smith was, it's a huge comp. It's a really, and I don't say it lightly because I love Jason Smith, Jim Dimmick and Jared McCracken and all those players when I was younger. So it's a huge comp, but I think he's going to be a superstar. I think, mate, everyone's talking Origin at the moment. For me, it's Nathan, Mitch, and Jerome, and there's going to be a battle there for the next couple of years. Katoa's got next.
Mate, the great Peter O'Sullivan, he made that an absolute... So, unfortunately, he doesn't keep him. He comes to Newcastle now, but he wanted Katoa, and he got him early. So, if you think he's 21 now, he must have been on the radar as an 18-year-old. They took him basically as their prized halfback then. So they are sitting on a good, and there's no doubt about that. 1300 01 1170 or text 0457 736 736 is the way to do it. Is that it for the Parramatta Eels now? And just on that, rather, it's officially... a lot of people are saying that you shouldn't be allowed to talk about Origin until Magic rounds happen, and I agree. I think that's a great idea. No one talk Origin, but once Magic round happens, you're free to talk. It's talking Origin season. It's also permission to leave season. It's that time of year where we're getting permission to leave season, and there's a few spots to be filled. We know that much, but just on I just want your opinion. If you're Laurie Daly. This State of Origin game 1, you're 6 and 7 right now. Who would it be?
Nathan and Mitch.
Really?
Nathan and Mitch. Mitch had a bit of a rough night last night. He had some nice moments, looked a little bit frustrated at times defensively when they actually stripped him for numbers and weren't able to execute. There was a really bad drop from Yongi. That would have sort of, helped them kick away. Then defensively, he had a really bad miss, which led to the Herbie Farnworth try. But he's been 3 games back, and the big thing for me is one thing where I think Queensland have been so much better than New South Wales at in years past, and they still found a way to win last year, was the kicking game. So I think Nathan and Mitch have a superior kicking game to anyone that Queensland can pick this year. Think about, Daly's always been really, I think he's an elite kicker. Money's an okay kicker, but they've also had options like Kalen and Walshy if need be, and then Benny Hunt comes on from dummy half. So they've always had all these different options. When Nath was playing a couple of years ago, and even Mitch last year, Mitch, good kicker, elite kicker. Nathan, elite kicker. Jerome, okay. Robson doesn't give you much. Dylan Edwards and Teddy have never given you much in the kicking game. So I think if you've got Nathan and Mitch, I think a negative becomes a positive for New South Wales. So that's why. And you know what it's like, Sugar. When you watch Origins, remember Game 3 last year? There were big moments from Luai and Mitchie offensively, but that game was played between the 20s.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just a kick-off. Like, they were just kicking back and forth at each other and defending their backsides off. Eventually, the game breaks open in the 70th minute, but if you don't have that kicking game, it never gets to that point.
I'm all in on Jerome Luai on the left-hand side, and take your pick. I think Nathan, I love Mitch, but I think Nathan clearly deserves the crack there. So I'm running with the old Panther cohort. Anyway, this time next week, we'll have the live coverage of the Knights and the Eels right here. Dylan Brown heading up to Newcastle to play against his new team for next year where he joins them, and then the Dolphins will head back to Suncorp hosting the Warriors.